Guys this is where cadence can be a little bit complex. To me, all right, most guys want to take it, they want to take their rod and reel. Oh, and I didn't talk about the reel. I'll mention that again real quick. It's pretty simple. Again, it's a high-speed reel for me. Pretty much all the way across the board, I'm using an 8-to-1 on every rod and reel combo that I've got, except for when I'm throwing giant 10XDs and really big plugs where I need a low speed, a low gear ratio reel where I don't kill myself all day long throwing that big plug. Then I'll go down to like a 5-to-1 or a 6-to-1. But there again, it's always an 8-to-1 for me and my jerkbait applications. So back to wintertime and talking about cadence. How many guys think you should work a jerkbait super slow in the wintertime? I mean, ideally, that's what we think, right? And I'm not going to give you a specific temperature like, okay, if it's below 47.5 degrees, you need to be working it slow, because here is a situation that I want to talk about, and it was a tournament. It was in the Ozarks. The water temperature was 40 to 43 degrees, which is cold. I mean, that's cold. Our water around here rarely ever dips down that low, but it does get down in the 40s, right? And when it gets down in the 40s, we're thinking slow. In our minds, we're thinking slow. This tournament, probably half the field was tossing a jerkbait around, and everybody was throwing the jerkbait out there, winding it down to their desired depth. Some guys were talking about, actually Ron Sheffield did really well in this tournament weighting his jerkbait. He was fishing the lower end, twitching it down there, getting it down there to the desired depth and going, choo, choo, choo. Maybe letting it sit 20, 30 seconds. And they were catching some fish like that, but they were literally, it was a terrible tournament. I mean, there's like 10 pros came in the first day, JT Kenny, and I'm not trying to call guys out, but that zeroed. I mean, it was that bad. And in practice, it was hard to get a bite. But the guys that did well in that tournament, for the most part, were working their jerkbait super slow. Now, fast forward through practice, which was super tough. First day of the tournament, go out, and literally my practice was so bad, I had 3 bites on a jerkbait in one creek. And that's the only 3 bites I had in practice for days. I mean, it was bad. I'm telling you, it was bad. So where do I go? I go plop my rear end down in that creek, and I don't plan on moving. I mean, it's the only place I got a bite. It's the only place I got any confidence at this point. So I start pitching a jerkbait around and working it super, super slow. I hadn't had a bite. And about 9:30, I make a cast out there with my jerkbait, and I've got a little loop in my line, and I'm pulling it out, and I just go to reel it in real fast, and I stop it, and I pull my loop out, and I go to reel it in again, and just clobbers it. Now, this water's like 42 degrees in there. And I'm like, well, maybe I need to change something up on my cadence. The very next cast, I make a cast with a jerkbait, and I'm throwing a Vision 110, just a regular mega bass in the Elegee bone color, the one with the big chartreuse line on the belly. And I just go to, I'm not even stopping it. I mean, I'm throwing it out there and and I catch one. It's a keeper spot. It's like 13 inches. So I'm excited. I'm not going to zero. I've got a keeper in the boat. The first one was a short largemouth, by the way. It was they got to be 50. The largemouth had to be 15 inches. And dude, I proceeded to go through, 20 or 25 keepers in the next 4 or 5 hours, ripping that jerkbait like you'd rip it in the springtime. I mean, I'm not even stopping it. So back to my point about having a complex answer for cadences, first off, I want to start by saying keep an open mind with your cadence. 9 times out of 10, yeah, a slow cadence will prevail in the wintertime. But guys, keep an open mind. Cadence-wise, don't get too consistent. That's the biggest thing I can tell you. Throw your jerkbait out there, wind it down to your desired depth, get to twitching it, and don't go twitch, 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 twitch. I don't care if you got 100 bites doing that. Twitch, twitch. Still, do something different with that jerkbait. You ever watch KVD fish a jerkbait? Does he go twitch, 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 twitch? Have you ever watched him throw a crankbait or a spinnerbait? Same thing. And this goes all the way across the board. Chatterbait fishing, throwing a jig. Visualize a swim bait fishing. Visualize a fish on every cast following that jerkbait and figuring out a way to trigger him to bite it. Now, yeah, jerkbait's got pretty erratic action, even with just those consistent two twitch, two twitch, two twitches. But we did something one year, and let me finish talking about the way that tournament ended up because it's kind of funny. We came in after the second day. Thrift was fishing it. And going into the third day, we were talking that night, and he asked me, we were comparing some notes, you know. He asked me how to catch him. I said, jerkbait. I said, how you catch him? He said, jerkbait. And I said, dude, it's the craziest thing ever. I said, I'm pretty sure I'm the only person in the tournament doing it. I said, but I'm throwing a jerkbait out there and I'm ripping it so fast, like they don't even have time to think about it. They're just reacting to it. Well, that's not the last time I gave him advice, but it should have been the last time I ever gave him any advice. Usually he's giving me advice. The joker brought in, now we were on Beaver Lake. This is Beaver Lake again. This is back in 2008. The joker goes out the next day. This is when 11 pounds, first of all, a limit in this tournament was good. He brought in 20 pounds that Saturday. All my buddies were like, you did what? You told Thrift what to do? He said, you don't, that's like pouring gas on the fire. You don't do that, you know? So he went on to win the tournament. I ended up finishing, I think, 5th or 6th, something like that. But to my point, just keep an open mind with that cadence. But now I lost my train of thought because I don't know, I get so competitive with Thrift sometimes. He kicks my butt so many times, it just throws my mind off. Back to the wintertime fishing though. Let's talk about size. Let's talk about colors. Colors are, they're a lot more important to me based on water clarity in the winter.
It's Mike Iaconelli. This is Bass U TV.
Here's what's awesome about Bass U TV.
You get the top instructors.
You will learn things at Bass U that you will learn nowhere else.
We take the mystery and the myths out of bass fishing.
Real tools that help you catch more fish consistently.
At Bass U TV, shoes are optional.
And I like turtles.
And that's why you want to check out Bass U TV.
Join the Bass U family.
Welcome to Bass U TV.